Meditation Mix, 23rd of June 2020. It is important that you know that you are responsible for your practice and your health and safety. Ensure that you are practicing in a clear area, and because this week we're doing a relaxation meditation, if you are seated, ensure you're in a spot where you won't hurt yourself if you nod off. Wear comfortable, non-restrictive clothing. You choose what practices you want to do. Do not proceed if any practice makes you feel uncomfortable in any way. If you are unsure whether you are physically or mentally fit to do yoga and meditation, consult your general practitioner or specialist before you start. So this class comprises gentle bends and twists and a breathing relaxation practice, and all of this can be done lying on the floor or sitting in a chair. The final pose is a restorative pose, so use cushions and blankets to support your body and keep yourself warm. You might like an additional blanket or towel and a scarf or eye pillow. As you move through this class, do so slowly and mindfully. Adapt and modify the poses so that they are comfortable for you, and if you feel any pain, stop immediately. The twists are not recommended if you have osteoporosis or are in your first trimester of pregnancy. We're going to be doing a curl. This is not recommended if you're pregnant or have any condition where you want to avoid placing pressure on the abdomen. For example, if you've got pelvic prolapse or had recent abdominal surgery or an abdominal hernia. If you're in your third trimester of pregnancy, practice the poses sitting in a chair, and if you do wish to lie down for the relaxation, lay down on your side. So tonight is the start of a new cycle of classes. We're going to start tonight with because we've just had a new moon and the winter solstice. Typically with yoga, a new moon can mean low energy, quiet. So tonight's class is going to be a meditation class. We will do some movements to begin, just to release any physical tensions, and then we'll settle into a pose for the last 15 minutes. I'm going to do a restorative yoga type class. So if you're lying on the floor, you might like to grab a blanket, towel, a cushion for your head, warm socks if you need them. Not everything's required. You just want to make sure that when you are lying down, that you're warm and comfortable. If you're seated in the chair, again, you might like to have a scarf to place around your eyes. You might like to have a cushion behind you. And if your feet don't touch the ground, you may even like to put something underneath your feet. So we'll start the class either lying on the ground, on your back. Have your feet about hip width apart and the knees bent. If you're seated in the chair, coming towards the front of your chair, feet flat on the floor, hands just gently resting in the lap. Now, whether you're seated or lying down, I'm just going to roll this back for a moment. Just place your hands below your navel. Become aware of the breath. Now, don't make any changes to the breath, just let it flow naturally. Now take a deep breath in, deeper than you normally would. Hold it for a second and then exhale completely. Again, taking a deep breath in, deeper than you normally would. Holding it for a second and then exhaling completely. Does that change the breath? Can you feel the breath moving in and out of the body? As you breathe in, your abdomen expands. As you breathe out, abdomen softens. Might help to close the eyes. Now imagine that the pelvis is like a hinge. So the hips are like a hinge. As you breathe in, as you feel the abdomen rise, do you feel the little pulling on the pelvis? You might feel the pelvis starting to tilt forward, just creating a little bit of an arch below the back, lower back. And as you exhale and the abdomen softens, maybe you feel the lower back flattening against the floor. Or if you're in the chair, just flattening. So don't let this movement comes from the breath. If you breathe in, you'll maybe feel a little tilt in the pelvis. As you exhale, letting it flatten. If you're on the floor, you can use that floor for feedback. If you're up against the back of the chair, you might feel the back of the chair coming away from the lower back on the inhalation, and on the exhalation, feel the back coming into the back of the chair. It's a really subtle movement, originating from the breath. Now, if you would like to go feel a little bit more, bring the hands behind the head if that's comfortable. And as you breathe in, arch the back, lift the chin. And as you exhale, curling towards your knees, bringing the elbows together. So breathing in, we're lengthening through the front of the body. And as we exhale, we contract. Inhale, shortening the back of the body. Exhale, lengthening the back. Just continuing moving with your breath, demonstrated on the floor. So inhaling, opening up, exhale. And imagine it's like an accordion. So we're drawing in towards the center. We're not straining in the back, the neck. It's the abdominal muscles that are drawing you in. Do a couple more. And if you're on the floor, coming into your version of Shavasana, hands by the side, the legs might be extended or they could remain bent. If you're seated in the chair, just sitting, feet flat on the floor, hands in the lap. Notice how that feels in the body. So if you're lying on the floor, bring the hands beside you with the palms face down. And whether seated in the chair or lying on the floor, on your next breath in, slowly raise the right arm up and overhead as high as it feels comfortable. And as you exhale, slowly lowering back down. Moving to the left arm, breathing in, arm overhead. Exhale, bring it back down. Moving with your breath. See if you can contain the movement within the breath. That means you start the movement as you start the breath. End the movement when you end the breath. When you next come to your first side, imagine there's a string attached to your hand and the knee. So as you breathe in, you bring the knee into the chest. As you bring the arm overhead, exhale, placing the foot back on the floor, hand back onto the lap or by your side. Only going to where it feels comfortable. Just noticing what's happening here. No, the leg doesn't have as far to go, so you might be going a lot slower compared with the arm. And when you next come to your first side, imagine that string is now attached to the opposite knee. And breathe in, right arm, left leg to the chest. Exhaling. Doing one more on each side. Before coming back to your position, seating in the chair or your version of Shavasana, lying on your back on the floor. So if you're on the floor, bend the knees and place the feet flat on the floor. Whether seated or lying down, just taking the arms gently out to the side. So gently roll the arms up and roll the arms. So we're coming from the shoulders just going to come back in the chair and show what I'm doing. The chair. So we're rolling the arms up, rolling the arms down. Okay, now turn one arm up, the other arm down. And see if you can rotate them so they go in opposite directions. One arm rolls up, the other arm rolls down. Now the arm that's facing up, turn your head in that direction. And then as the other arm rolls up, move the head in the opposite direction. So gently moving from side to side. Nice and slow, just noticing the muscles that are being used. You can always drop the arms if you need to. Now if you're on the floor, whoops, I just got my head towards that. If you're on the floor, drop the knees in the opposite direction. You can kind of do this on the chair if you come forward. So if my head's to the right, my knees are going to the left. And you can actually do that also on the floor. Just doing one more on each side before coming back to your seated position or back into Shavasana. So now we're going to move into the relaxation. If you're seated in the chair, you want to make sure that you're comfortable. So this could mean that you place a pillow behind the back. I don't actually have a pillow here. So this will depend. So you might want to place some cushions, something so that you feel comfortable. You can dim the light, or you might like to place a scarf around your eyes or around the head to keep you warm. And I did say a towel, placing the towel over your knees. If you do it like a little fold, you can always place your hands in there and keep the hands warm. Or I like these jackets because I actually put my hands in my jacket, so it's a bit like a muff in the pockets of my vest. It's a bit of a muff. So just making sure that you're comfortable. You might also like to put a blanket over yourself to keep yourself warm. If you're lying on the ground, suggest a cushion underneath your head to make the neck just a little bit flexed. So it doesn't have to be a lot, but just bring the chin a little towards the chest so that the back of the neck is long. Again, you might like to put an eye pillow over your eyes or wrap the scarf around the head. If you have lower back problems like I do, you might like to place a blanket underneath the thighs or cushions. And this, I'm going to do a bit of a wrap. Take the towel, place it across your tummy, just that nice bit of warmth there. And then you can place a blanket over yourself, put on some socks, dim the lights, just doing whatever you like to feel comfortable. So choose your position now. Set yourself up so that you're warm and comfortable. If it's comfortable for you, closing the eyes, I am just going to put on a little bit of music. So settling into your chosen position. Ensure that you're warm and comfortable. You can remain still for the next 15 minutes. So if you do need to move, if that position becomes uncomfortable, then please do so, but slowly and with awareness. Take a deep breath in. Feel calmness and peace spreading throughout your body. And on the exhalation, let any lingering tensions and worries slip away. With each breath, feel the body becoming calmer and stiller. Let the body relax. Let the floor and the chairs support you. Turn the attention to the breath. Feel the breath moving in and out of the body. On your next breath in, count how long it takes for you to breathe in. Pause at the end of the breath and see if you can exhale for the same length of time. And have 2 or 3 natural breaths. And again, another breath in, counting the length, pausing for a second, and then exhale for the same length. Then 2 to 3 natural breaths. And continue that pattern. 1 breath, inhaling and exhaling for the same length. Then 2 to 3 natural breaths. And count up to 10 rounds of this centering breath. natural breathing. Feel the touch of the breath with the nostrils. Feel the breath moving up and down the nostrils. Feel the breath moving within the body. Become aware of your body. Feel the weight of your body against the floor and the chair. See the shape of your body. Recall your position in the room and the furniture and the fixtures around you. Start to visualize the room, the floor, the walls, the doors, the windows and the ceiling. And expand your awareness to the other rooms, to the building itself, out to the street, and out to the suburbs. Listen for sounds. Let them remind you of the time of day, where you are, what you are doing. Slowly start to deepen the breath, taking a fuller breath in and a fuller breath out. And start to bring some movement back to your body. Gently wriggling fingers and toes, moving into the hands and feet, the limbs, the head. You might like to stretch. If you're on the floor, you might like to bring the knees into the chest. Or if you're seated, just moving a little, twisting a little from side to side, or maybe a little bit of a bend. And if you're on the floor, gently come over onto your side and make your way up to a comfortable seated position. So settle back into your seated position and take a moment to notice how you feel. We'll end the class by chanting the mantra Om 3 times. If you'd like to join in, taking a deep breath in. Om. 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 Bringing your hands together in a gesture of gratitude, whether wrist over wrist or palm to palm in front of the heart. And just thank yourself and thank those who've joined you today. Om Shanti. Go in peace.
The Yoga and Meditation Mix is an online pay what you wish class. For more details, please see the links in the description below.